Right, our first piece of news is about Nick Khan, as you might expect. It is about his promotion on Tuesday to the new president of the WWE. Vince McMahon obviously is the commander-in-chief, as it were, the guy at the very top. However, on Tuesday, Nick Khan was promoted to the board of WWE directors. He was not the only one. Essentially, they have finally replaced Wilson and Barrios after about a year now? A year and 4 months without people at those top-level board positions. Now, he is currently both the chief financial officer of the WWE and the WWE president. This is not acting, this is the actual WWE president. This officially makes him the second in command of the WWE behind only Vince McMahon. Now, as far as I've been able to glean, this was always the plan. As soon as he was hired, the idea was he would become the WWE president, he was promised a job, and a member of the board of directors. His mission statement is very clear: to make changes to the WWE in his own image. My YouTube video on Nick Khan, which is about 6 days old at the time of recording this, probably about 7 days old at the time of releasing this on YouTube, has blown up over the last couple of days because it's basically the only information you can find about him and his general role at this point in time. His intentions are very clear at the moment: to increase sports-based analysis, which is why he's bringing in Jimmy Smith, Adnan Virk, Pat McAfee, people who are recognizable to the casual fans. A stronger connection to mainstream media, which means, once again, more push towards casual fans, more focus on your CBS Sports, your TMZ, ESPN, CNN, of course, Fox, which is one of the reasons that Ryan Satin's in the position he is at the moment, and an increase in overall profit generation. The WWE have made record profits this year. However, with a return to touring, that also means an increase in the amount of money they will be paying their individual stars, an increase to venue costs, and yes, there'll be an increase in ticket sales, but the WWE are expecting a lower ticket turnout than they have done in previous years. With this in mind, they've decided to cut costs ahead of schedule, with the idea being that if they don't have the immediate return of fans, they can still make up for it by other means. Nick Khan's mission, very simply, is that he has financial targets to meet. We will see what happens when it comes to the return of live shows, how much money they spend on those, how much money they spend on things like pyro and fireworks and the like. And this also means we are likely to see more releases and more changes. It's also true that Jimmy Smith cost more than Tom Phillips did. In addition, there may be a severance package for Adnan Virk. There was certainly quite a big severance package for a lot of people who've been released recently. I look at people the level of Gallows and Anderson, for example, who had recently signed very high contracts, and a release isn't as simple as saying you're fired, we're not going to pay you. There is a guaranteed downside that still has to be paid, so money does go out the pocket there. However, they save more by not having them there for live shows. Khan's autonomy essentially means that he can make decisions separate from Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is not overseeing everything anymore, and it means that often he is making sweeping decisions that affect a lot of people without direct input. A list of people put together for the latest releases was apparently helmed by Nick Khan. This is why a number of people on that list were names popular with Vince McMahon, who Vince McMahon in previous years, in previous months, has chosen not to release. Braun Strowman being one of them, Aleister Black being another one. Aleister Black in particular was someone who's come out and said that Vince McMahon was always a fan of his. I have reported previously that Vince McMahon liked Aleister Black, but felt that tweaks were needed to the character to make it work on Raw and on SmackDown, so main roster. These tweaks essentially meant that there was a lot of confusion over the Aleister Black, a lot of reincarnations, and ultimately someone decided to cut their losses. That is everything about the promotion of Nick Khan. Nick Khan's name is going to come up a lot in these next few pieces of news. A lot.